She accepted the job knowing it would ruin her life if she was ever discovered, yet desperation has a way of silencing fear when survival leaves no other choice. Her name was Iris Vale, and the offer placed in front of her promised more money than she had ever seen, in exchange for something that sounded simple but carried a dangerous weight. She was hired to spy on Leon Hartman, the powerful CEO of one of the largest tech corporations in the city, a man known for his brilliance, secrecy, and absolute intolerance for betrayal. The people who hired her did not ask for opinions or loyalty, only access, because Iris had the perfect background to get close to him without raising suspicion. She was young, capable, and invisible in the way powerful men often overlook, which made her the perfect tool for gathering information that could destroy an empire. The instructions were clear, precise, and cold, as she was told to observe his habits, copy private data, and report everything without allowing emotion to interfere. When Iris first stepped into the towering glass building where Leon worked, she felt the pressure immediately, sensing that this was not a place where mistakes were forgiven. Leon Hartman was nothing like she expected, because instead of arrogance, she found a man who spoke little, watched carefully, and seemed to notice details others missed. During their first interaction, his gaze lingered just long enough to make her uncomfortable, as if he sensed something hidden beneath her calm expression. Iris reminded herself that she was here to act, not to feel, and that every smile she offered was part of a role she could not afford to break. As days passed, she slowly integrated into his professional circle, gaining access to meetings, files, and moments that were never meant for outsiders. At night, she sent reports filled with facts and numbers, yet she never mentioned the strange feeling that followed her whenever Leon spoke with quiet honesty. What unsettled her most was not his power, but the loneliness she sensed behind his control, a loneliness that made her question whether the man she was betraying deserved it. With each secret she uncovered, Iris felt the weight of her actions grow heavier, because the closer she got to the truth, the closer she came to crossing a line she could never return from. And without realizing it, Iris had already taken the first step toward a betrayal that would cost far more than the money she was promised. Iris quickly learned that working near Leon Hartman meant living under constant pressure, because nothing about him suggested carelessness or blind trust. Every movement inside the company felt measured, from the way employees spoke to the way doors closed quietly behind them, reminding her that secrets were the true currency of this place. She continued gathering information as instructed, copying files, memorizing conversations, and sending reports late at night, even as guilt began settling deeper into her thoughts. Leon, meanwhile, started involving her more directly, assigning tasks that placed her closer to his inner circle and closer to information she was never meant to see. At times, his questions felt casual, but his eyes told a different story, as if he were testing her reactions rather than her answers. Iris remained careful, controlling every expression, yet the fear of being exposed followed her everywhere, turning even ordinary moments into silent interrogations. As weeks passed, Leon's behavior toward her shifted, not into warmth, but into something quieter, something that suggested trust slowly forming against his own instincts. He spoke to her during late hours, not about business, but about responsibility, isolation, and the cost of leadership, revealing parts of himself no report had ever mentioned. Listening to him made Iris uneasy because it blurred the line between target and person, forcing her to confront the damage her betrayal could cause. The more she learned about Leon, the more the job felt wrong. Yet walking away was no longer an option, because too many eyes were watching her progress. The people who hired her began demanding faster results, pressing her to access restricted data that could expose Leon to public destruction. That night, Iris broke a rule she had sworn to follow, hesitating before sending her report, questioning whether information should always be used as a weapon. Leon noticed the change immediately, sensing distance where obedience once existed, and his gaze grew sharper each time their paths crossed. The tension reached its peak when Iris accidentally overheard a private conversation revealing that Leon was already aware of a spy within his company. As fear tightened around her chest, Iris realized the most dangerous part of her mission was no longer stealing secrets, but hiding the truth from a man who might already be watching her every move. The fear Iris had been carrying finally became unbearable when she realized that Leon was no longer searching for a spy, but waiting for one to reveal themselves. Every conversation felt heavier, every glance felt sharper, and every moment in his presence made her wonder if this would be the day everything collapsed. Leon's behavior changed subtly as he began asking questions that sounded ordinary but carried meanings that reached far beneath the surface. Iris answered carefully, choosing every word as if her life depended on it, because in that moment, it truly did. The breaking point came late one night when Leon asked her to stay behind after work, closing the office door with a calm that felt more terrifying than anger. He told her he knew someone had been feeding information to outsiders, and that betrayal was the one thing he never forgave. Iris felt her breath tighten as she realized there was no escape left, no excuse that could save her, and no lie strong enough to survive the truth. Before Leon could say another word, she confessed everything, from the job offer to the reports, admitting that she had been hired to spy on him. The silence that followed was long and crushing, filled with disappointment rather than rage, which hurt far more than shouting ever could. Leon listened without interruption, absorbing every word, every reason, and every moment where she had chosen survival over honesty. When she finished, he asked only one question, whether anything she had shown him had ever been real. Tears filled Iris's eyes as she admitted that while the job was a lie, her feelings were not, and that falling for him had never been part of the plan. Leon turned away, not out of hatred, but out of betrayal so deep it stripped away the trust he had slowly given her. He made his decision quietly, choosing not revenge, but distance, ending her involvement in his life and ordering her to leave the company immediately. As Iris walked away from the building for the last time, she understood that the greatest cost of her mission was not exposure, but losing someone who had finally seen her as more than a tool. Leon remained behind, surrounded by power and control, realizing too late that while secrets could be replaced, trust once broken never returned the same way.